what was so bad about this that he would try and hide it from me. That all changed when I read the last entry. The last night, there was moonlight that woke him up. He also had to take a piss. He got out of the tent in the cool night air to complete silence. The only sound was the faintest lapping of water on the shore. As he was relieving himself, he noticed how calm and glassy the lake was, and then he saw it. The thing that he thought was a log stood at the very end of the peninsula. Now that it was on land, he could tell that it was alive, a pitch-black figure almost 7 feet tall, wearing what looked like wet robes. He crawled back into his tent, his heart racing, and pretended like it wasn't there. Then he heard the voice of a child in distress. "Can you help me? I'm lost," followed by a low giggling and random whispers around the tent. "Shh, don't wake him." Then more giggling. This went on for what seemed like eternity. The sounds of footsteps all around the tent, giggling and shushing. Just before dawn, he heard what he presumed to be the figure wading back out into the water. As soon as it was light out, he was already packing his things and heading back the way he came. But first, he paddled up to the island to see if anyone was there. All he saw were the remains of the first fire, the tent torn apart from one side, blood everywhere, and strange symbols drawn on a big boulder. He reported the missing man, but he never told anyone about what he saw that night. After I was done reading, I just sat there until my uncle got back from his walk. "It's still out there," he said, as he looked towards the lake. He said that he bought up the area over the years and tries his best to keep people off of that lake. He says it's cursed. That didn't stop me from going back once more to see it, but that is a story for a different time.
At the start of COVID, during the 2-week lockdown, my dad, very concerned, said, "Frank, please don't think that I'm crazy, but I swear that I saw 3 grey aliens walking across the street, and then they went into the woods." I asked him how tall. He said very skinny creatures, about 4 feet tall. 2 days later as well, and I'm not joking, a military person sky-dived into their community. I witnessed it while we were driving back into the neighborhood, and we were like, what the actual heck? White vans running in and out of the neighborhood non-stop. You would see them at least 20 to 30 times per day, which made me believe that something happened that was far beyond COVID. To add to all of this, about a month later, my dad randomly leaves the house while I'm visiting, says that he wants to go and be with God. He's completely at peace, acting totally normal, leaves the house and walks down the street. The cops pick him up though. The cops call me, and when I'm on the phone with the cop, he says, "Hang on real quick." Then I hear, "Oh no," then a loud gunshot. At this point, obviously I'm panicking, thinking that my dad was shot. A totally different cop gets on the phone. I hadn't talked to this guy before. Says, "Sorry, that was unrelated. Your dad is fine and we'll bring him home now." In that moment, I literally thought to myself, was the original cop that I talked to shot and replaced or something? Did he see one of those greys and had to shoot it? He was in complete panic with his voice, but the next cop on the phone was completely fine, as if nothing had happened. Anyway, that was weird, and Dad comes home with them and instead says that he wants to go and check himself into a hotel for a few days. So they offer to drive him to the hotel. Dad turns off his phone, won't let anybody come and visit him, has no communication with us during this time, says that he just wants to be alone. Eventually he comes back home after the few days like nothing happened whatsoever, and to this day says, "I don't want to talk about what happened that night." And I'm like, "Yeah, but It was weird. Like, can you explain what happened and why you felt that way? And he's just like, no, I don't want to get into that. Personally, I think that he saw something, or something serious happened, and he's concerned that if he says something that he'll be labeled insane. But what do you guys think about this? I legit got scared thinking that they replaced my dad or something. The grey alien thing was super weird too, and it was really weird to hear a loud gunshot on the phone and then suddenly I'm speaking to a different cop. I remember when the cops came by the house to drop him off as well, and their demeanor was just incredibly weird. I dare say, almost like they were not human. They just